So friends, coming to the Rotary Foundation, we all know Rotary International, as I said, it was started by four friends coming in 1905. Rotary started with the motto, the Rotary Foundation motto is doing good to the world. Let us start with the motto. What we'll first try to understand the history of the foundation, and then in very brief, I would like to complete because I think we are already short of time. So I would not take much time. The mission statement of the Rotary Foundation is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the elevation of poverty. So, what basically the mission is to enable Rotarians in the world to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace. Because see, we can see that peace has been of prior importance for Rotary International and the foundation through the improvement of health, support of education, and elevation of poverty. So what it means is that if you got good health, if you support education, and if you elevate poverty, automatically you will find goodwill and peace going through in the world. So let's go to the history. The foundation was created in 1917 by the sixth president, R.C. Klum, who started the foundation with an initial contribution of $26.5. And that's why we have that R.C. Klum recognition for $250,000 that we give, because he was the founder of the trust for the foundation. It was formally named as the foundation in the Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA convention in 1928. What are the sources of support? How does the foundation survive? It survives through the Polio Plus Fund, which is dedicated to the global polio eradication. I will be discussing all this in brief later. Annual fund, which is the prime source of funding for foundation grants and activities, which we normally give. Fiona, you are also discussing about the annual fund sometimes earlier. And then the endowment fund, which supports the foundation in perpetuity. So you can give some donations there which will remain in perpetuity, and the income earned from that would be used for the foundation. This is the 22-23 statement of activities of the foundation that they have given in their annual report. The next net investment return, that is on the endowments for June 23, we can see 58,000, which is on the negative side as compared to the previous year. Then program awards were 278,000, it was more. Program operations were 21,000. Fund development 25,000, currency exchange losses, and also net change in assets. We can see that last year we had a net change in assets of $34,000, which was a negative effect. This year we have a surplus of 78,000, around $78,000. This is the end report as on 30th of June 2023, as per the annual report given by Rotary International. So let's start with the Polio Plus Fund. Friends, as we all know, polio eradication has been one of the most biggest challenge that Rotary has taken up, thanks to a small club coming in from Manila way back in 1985, which thought of eradicating polio at their level, which was later on taken up by their Rotary district and then the municipal authorities and the Philippines government over there. And then it spread around the world for polio eradication. And as we all know that today, it has gone very high. It was primarily supportive of the global efforts to end polio. It was instrumental in starting of the global polio eradication initiative by the World Health Assembly. The World Health Assembly by now has spent more than $10 billion on polio eradication, and Rotary is not far behind. Rotary has contributed around 2.1 billion of that amount towards polio eradication in the World Health in the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. We were also supported by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They started it with a 100 billion challenge. As we all know that they said, we will give you $100 million if Rotarians are able to match it within a particular period. Rotarians did it much faster, and then they started giving. Even today, whatever donations are given to the foundation for the Polio Plus Fund, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are matching it by twice the amount. So supposing you are donating $1 to Polio Plus, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is matching with $2, and again our foundation is matching it on one, that is with $3. So every dollar that you donate for Polio Plus becomes $6 and goes for the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. What are the individual contributions over the period that we can see? This is all as per the report issued, annual report of the foundation. Individual contributors were 152,000. Out of that, Rotarian contributors were 144,000. So around 8,500 people were outside Rotary who have contributed for polio participation. Percentage of Rotarians, total Rotarians participating for polio is 12.4%, and total giving per Rotarian is $32.64. This is only for the polio plus contribution, that on an average, every Rotarian has been giving around $32.64, which is an increase of around $3 over and above the 2018-19 numbers. Then this was for the individual. What are the clubs contributing? There are total clubs in 22-23 were 36,000, but the participating clubs in this were 21,000. So 58.5% of the clubs were participating, and there are 100%, means 30 districts where 100% of the clubs are participating for polio donations, which is lower as compared to 2018-19 when we had 33 districts which were 100%, wherein the clubs were 100% participating for the polio plus donations. Now, since polio is, but unfortunately, we had reports that polio was being eradicated, but Pakistan, recently we got 13 more cases in Pakistan. And so Pakistan and Afghanistan remain the only two places where we need to eradicate. There were some threats in the US also, but it still controls. So now we go to the annual fund. This is the main fund that we give because we get our global grants and the district grants and the DDFs from the annual fund. So it is important, friends, that we contribute to the annual fund. It is the primary funding source for foundation grants and activities. It supports local and international grants through the share system. Now, what is the share system is? Whatever grants we are giving now to the annual fund, in the third year, 47.5% come back. There is a 5% deduction. So 50% of the remaining 95% comes back to the district for the district fund, and the remaining 47.5% remains with Rotary International, which is distributed again to various districts across for the global grants. So 95% goes and 5% is kept by Rotary International, Rotary Foundation for administrative costs. Contributions are credited to the individual donor and the donors club and are applied for the club and district annual goals. So if you contribute, it will be credited to your individual account, irrespective of whether you're a Rotarian or a non-Rotarian. And the donors club and the district will also get credit for the said amount. That is the advantage. And moreover, the district goals and the club goals can be achieved through the individual donations of the members in annual fund. Again, we'll see the contributions. Total individual contributions were by 418,000 people. Out of that, Rotarians are around 402,000 Rotarians. The 34%, that is of the total Rotarians across the globe, are participating and contributing to the annual fund. And on an average, per Rotarian, the contribution is $114.68. For Polio Plus, we saw it was $32.64. Here it is $114.68. It is $9 higher as compared to 18-19. Similarly, club contributions, 81.3% of the clubs are contributing towards the annual fund, which is higher from 79.9% in 2018-19. And again, but the number of districts where 100% of the clubs are participating has reduced to 99. It was highest 108 in the year 2021 when 108 districts participated where every club had contributed for the annual fund. This year, I'm glad to announce that even my district has contributed to the annual fund. 100% of the clubs so far have contributed to the annual fund. Then the endowment fund is you can create an endowment in the name of any family member in the remembrance. You can create it in the name of the club. The contributions are invested in perpetuity. Here, what you have to do is either you invest 25,000 lump sum $25,000 for an endowment fund in 1 year or over a period of 3 years, distributed over a period of 3 years. You can name it in anybody, you can put it in anybody's name. The funds are invested and the interest is sent back to you for to the club for utilization for your purpose. Again, if you want to do it for the club, then the club can come around, the members can come in and they can create an endowment fund in the name of a club or in the name of somebody. There, every member has to contribute a minimum of $1,000. But again, the endowment fund has to be for $25,000. So it can be cumulatively $25,000 or individually $25,000. That has to be taken care of. Only the earnings out of the investments are spent. The investments are kept for perpetuity. It offers the donors, as I said, to create their own lasting legacy through Rotary. You can put it in the name of your club. You can put it in the name of a celebrity. You can give it in some ancestors' name, so their names will remain forever. What are the mode of contribution? As I said, outright gifts of cash, investments or property. So it need not only be in cash, but you can transfer your investments, you can transfer your properties, or even you can put it in your estates. That's your will that the amount will go. It can be life income gifts that you can make the International Rotary Foundation as a nominee for your life insurances or your annuities, which are pooled income funds. Testamentary gifts through wills or estate plans, as I told you. Then beneficiary of life insurance, retirement plan, accounts of other financial institutions. Again, let us see the collection report. 16,586 Rotarian individuals have contributed for endowment fund, which is hardly 1.4% of the total Rotary workforce membership strength. On an average, per member giving is around $34.36, and yearly giving that we see based on this list is around $2,167. Club contributions, 8.8% of the clubs are contributing towards endowment. We can see the trend is increasing. More and more clubs are now going for endowment investments. Our net asset projection is $2.05 billion. The goal is 1 billion net assets and 1.025 in the commitments. However, we are short. The actual position we can see is it is hardly 1.6 billion as against 2 billion, the target for 2025. So we still have a long way to go. The net assets that the Rotary Foundation has towards the endowment funds is 676.6, $78.6 million, and the commitments are $947 million. The commitments are those, as I said, you can give it over a period staggered over 3 years. So these are the commitments for the endowment funds. So this is the overall philanthropy summary. The collections unaudited towards annual fund were 147.6 million as against the goal of 135 million. Endowment fund, the goal was 40 million, but the collections are 34.6. Polio fund, again, the collections have surpassed the goal. Others also, the collections are lower. And total new expectancies from to the endowment fund are 49.3 million as against the goal of $60 million. Similarly, polio transfers have also reduced from $15 million to $11.2 million. So this is a graphical presentation of the contributions that we just saw. Annual fund, polio plus endowment and others, the tabulated. And this is the country-wise contribution. Top giving countries are United States. As you can see, India is now stated at number 2 position for giving to the annual overall funds. $31 million is what India has given, as against $194 million coming from the US, and Korea is third with $23 million. So India has now achieved a net giving status. And we can see countries like Nigeria among the top 15, $2.23 million. Philippines giving, say, around $7 million. Japan is way back at $17 million. So you can see this whole tabulated this thing. Again, this contributions by source, business, charity, or government has been contributing around 8%. Rotary organization 16%, and most of the contribution to Rotary Foundation is coming by individuals, that's 74.9%. And in this business charity, we have not calculated the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation charities, which are separately going towards the Polio Plus Fund, as we discussed earlier. This is the again the bar chart giving the clarifications. So 86% of the individuals by source have been giving. Club and district foundation 2%, district is giving 8.3%, Rotary or Rotary Club 56%. So you can see this by through the pie chart, this the same thing has been given. Individual participation in all funds, 39.1% of the total Rotarians have been contributing, and on an average per Rotarian giving is $217.39, which is lower than the previous year figures of 231.24. Although the percentage of Rotarians contributing is more, but the net contributions have reduced as compared to the previous year, although it is much higher as compared to 2018 and 19. Similarly, 86.2% of the clubs have been contributing. 142 districts are there where 100% of the clubs are contributing. So as far as the club statistics go, it is a positive sign that we can see over here. And this is the investment summary. Endowment fund, there's a growth. See, up to 642 million that we saw earlier, the assets were there. Annual fund and operating reserve. Annual fund is 519 millions. Donor advice fund 37 million. These are just statistical numbers that I'm giving. I'll be sharing this presentation also. And where are these used? This was the collection. So where are these used? First and foremost is the Polio Plus program, as we discussed. Rotary has been a pioneer in polio eradication. It has also encouraged the governments, and the governments and other organizations have contributed around $10 billion, $8 billion, and Rotary has contributed around $2 billion to the few. Then another issue usage is the 7 areas of focus where we do projects through either DDF or global grants or district grants. Then another major use is peace fellowships. We have Rotary has been giving around 130 fellowships during the year, 50 of the masters and 80 of the diploma. Masters is a 3-year course, and diploma is a 1-year course going into the peace fellowships. There are 7 peace centers across the globe which Rotary has uh, is having, and then they sponsor the whole cost of that person education, right from admission, travel, stay, accommodation, everything. When these people are trained, they are sent to different locations for peace management. These are the Polio Plus grants by region that they have been giving depending on the need. And we can see Afghanistan, Pakistan, African region has got around 3.18 million. Maximum UNICEF headquarters 15 million. Pakistan has been getting around 11.235 million in June 23. Again, partner organizations to which the grants have been given through Rotary: Pakistan immunization 297,000, Nigeria 204,000, because Nigeria was one of the latest countries 5 years back which was declared polio free. And now, as I said, only Pakistan and Afghanistan are remaining. You can see by focus areas how are the grants utilized. 9% goes to the basic education and literacy. 44% is spent on disease prevention and treatment. Community and economic development, 12% of the grants are utilized. 15% are utilized for peace building. 8% are utilized, 6% for peace building, water and sanitation, 15%, maternal and child health, 9%, and 5% on environment. Although it's a new focus area, but still 5% of the foundation grants are spent on environment, as per the 22-23 report. These are the universities that are recognized by Rotary Peace for the fellowships that we discussed earlier. Number of This is the statistics fellowships awarded in 22-23. Number of home countries among the fellows 42. Average age is 31 in the masters and 36 in the certificate program. So you can very well see Rotary is encouraging more and more youngsters to join in for these programs. Then grants by primary area, as we saw the percentage wise list. Now you can see the grants, that funding that is being done here. And then grants by activity type, humanitarian activity is getting the maximum of $59-60 million. Humanitarian and VTT is getting around $700,000. Scholarships 7 million. Vocational training team $1.1 million. Top 10 recipient countries by the number of grants. India, again, it was also the number 2 giving country, but it is also one of the top 10 recipient countries. 219 project locations are running in India. And you can see even US is having 37 project locations. And by grant amount, India also again is $14.3 million that we are getting as a grant. Now, why should we give? Once we are thought, why should we give? Rotary is also giving you recognitions. So what are the individual recognitions? Rotary Foundation sustaining member. If a member gives $100 to the foundation every year, year on year, he gets a Rotary Foundation sustaining member recognition. Then if you give $1,000, you become a Paul Harris Fellow. And if you start giving further, you become multiple Paul Harris Fellow. But this Paul Harris Fellow can also be done through points. Once you donate to the Rotary Foundation, for every dollar that you give, you are given equivalent to 1 point. So you can transfer those points to encourage people to be Paul Harris Fellows in your club. That supposing, this is especially for the Rotractors, I would like to say, that supposing you got members who can't afford. So you tell them to pay around $300, 700. You can transfer to the points and you can make them the Paul Harris Fellow. This way you can encourage more and more people to start learning to give, start giving to the Rotary Foundation, and also they will be getting recognitions and you will be helping people who cannot afford. Those who can afford, definitely they should be paying the full amount. Paul Harris Society recognition is a recognition that you have to commit, sign a declaration that for 10 years minimum you would give $1,000 every year. After the 10th year, you become a Paul Harris Society sustaining member. Benefactor is a member who gives for the endowment. Either you create your own endowment, or even if you contribute that $1,000 to a endowment fund, as we discussed earlier, you become a benefactor member. Bequest Society is if you bequest your estate to the Rotary Foundation, minimum of $10,000 for the future, then you become a bequest society member. Similarly, is a legacy society. If you donate $10,000 or more to Rotary Foundation cumulatively, mind you, cumulatively need not be at one stroke, you become a major donor. So if you become a Paul Harris Society sustaining member, you keep on giving $1,000 for 10 years. In the 10th year, you get a dual recognition. Already you are Paul Harris Fellows plus multiple Paul Harris Fellow, plus you get a Paul Harris Society member recognition as well as a major donor recognition. You become an Arc Club Society member by donating $250,000 minimum. Again, this has to be cumulative. Like as I said, Paul Harris Fellow as a multiple Paul Harris Fellow. So every $1,000 or points that you accumulate, you get a level 1 up to level 8 that you get. After that, you become a major donor. Then major donor has got 4 levels. $10,000 is level 1. $25,000 is level 2. $50,000 is level 3. And level 4 is $100,000. If you then go to $250,000 cumulatively, you become an R Club society member. Again, there are trustee circles and platinum circles depending on your contributions. So these are the recognition summaries. In 22-23, Rotary Foundation got 152 R Club society members, cumulatively 1,416 till date, 3,550 major donors, 9 Legacy Society, 368 Bequest Society members, and 2,643 benefactor members, and 44,878 Paul Harris Fellows. These are, mind you, new members, not the old ones. Cumulative figure is given on the right. That's 1.9 million Paul Harris Fellows are there in Rotary International as of now. Now, similarly, as recognitions were given to individuals, they are also given to clubs. Every club which donates, where every member of the club donates minimum of $25, and per capita, they donate around $100. They become a 100% foundation giving club. So every member has to give to become, and on similar lines is every Rotarian every year, $25 minimum per Rotarian, and per capita should be 100. Per capita is that the total contribution by the club divided by the number of members. It becomes per capita, it should be over 100. You get these two recognitions. If a club has all the members as Paul Harris Fellow members, you get a 100% Paul Harris Fellow club. Similarly, a Paul Harris Society club. A promise club is if 100% of the members promise to give to the Rotary Foundation through their estates, that is the legacy members, then you become a promise club. Every district top 3 per capita in annual fund giving clubs are recognized in every district. So even in your district also it would be there. End Polio Now certificate of appreciation is given if you contribute $1,500. And then road tractors also, road track clubs are also encouraged to give by just giving $100 annually. They get a road track giving certificate. I would just give the statistics. It has started since 2019-20. More than US dollars 830,000 have been collected by through road track clubs. In 23-24 itself, 880 road track clubs worldwide earned this certificate, contributing around $391,558 in last year as compared to the previous year. 640 clubs won this certificate, contributing around $242,000. Unfortunately, no club from District 7090 has qualified for the road track giving certificate this year. Friends, I am open for questions, and that's all from me. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Fioma, back to you.